folks, and welcome to episode 7 of Rapid Reviews Radio. I am your co-host, Kylie Wild, and I'm joined with Pete Beckett. And how are you?
It's another week and another Pokemon absolute bashing.
You did really well
yeah.
on Pokemon this week.
Yeah, I've completed the main story after 22 hours. I had last Monday off and literally bashed it for about 14 hours.
Whoa, that's dedication.
Either that or I'm a madman.
A little of both. Column from A, a little from column A, a little from column B.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to make that quote myself.
So overall, satisfying experience?
I would say so. The start of it wasn't the best experience I had. The story was quite slow moving to start with, but it got much better as it went along. And contrary to a couple of weeks ago where I said I wasn't overly jazzed about the music,
Yes,
I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's so brilliant, and I have listened to that soundtrack on repeat for the last week.
That's awesome. That's great. Very good
But
to hear.
how are you this week?
Not too bad. Battling a little bit of insomnia, so maybe some crazy things will pop out as we go on.
Hold on, I need to revert this back. You said you're battling insomnia.
Yeah.
Have they come back to you? Have they posted hate? Because if they have, I'm going to get to them.
Yes, I should probably clarify battling not sleeping insomnia. That is funny.
I knew what you meant.
Yes.
I knew what you meant.
That is funny though. But strangely enough, after they shared that one post, they've never shared anything else.
Yeah.
But no, I've got past my post-convention blues, and then as we're heading into the holiday season, a lot of work, and a lot of orders in my business, and I ended up staying awake far too much. So if I start hallucinating, we'll know why.
So remember, everyone, those Santa's elves in December never get a day off.
They don't.
Be more kind to your happy elf.
But keep ordering. Just have patience.
You're right.
So how about the news for this week? It's pretty good. Pretty big.
Good. Some good news this week, apart from one.
Well,
I'm gonna make a reference here. Good news, everyone.
Yep. That's a reference to Futurama. So
yes.
What are we, 3 weeks in a row?
Knock it down.
Yep. Bingo cards at the ready.
Yes. There may be more on that in the future. Stay posted. So, I'll start off with the smaller news. This one was actually reported by YouTuber Spawnwave.
Mm-hmm.
Good shout out to Spawnwave there. He'll never listen, but I will put him in the notes anyway, just in case. Apparently, there's been an open discussion at Capcom regarding Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Yes, which I'm thrilled about.
So it's not 100% confirmed. It was something that I wanted to include because we're coming up close to the Game Awards season, and that's another thing that we could have spoken about this week, but everyone else has covered it, and I'm not going to go into that controversy at all.
Yeah, because you know what I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, Death Stranding and Jeff Keighley. My God. The Hideo Kojima Jeff Keighley bromance continues.
Oh my gosh, yes. To the
that's unfair. That's unfair. They have a panel of people.
They do.
And Jeff Keighley is not involved in that, so fair enough. But Death Stranding still getting eight nominations is still a bit ludicrous.
Outer Worlds did get nominated.
Hey,
so
mark the cards. We're a few minutes in, and you've already mentioned it again.
That's right.
Good work. So it's fine. So the rumblings is that it was stated by Capcom that if Resident Evil 2 Remake would do well, they would look at shifting more remakes out. And this isn't too dissimilar to what they've been doing over the years as well, because Resident Evil had a remake on the GameCube that has now been released on literally every single platform.
Yes.
Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 have recently been released on the Switch, although they're not remakes. They are looking to heavily produce a lot of Resident Evil content. So It's one of the things that we've known about Resident Evil 2 Remake for quite a
Mhm.
few years, so I wouldn't be surprised that all the work that they did to put into the RE engine, they would use it to make Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, absolutely. There's there's no reason why it almost seems a done deal, even though Capcom has declined to comment. Um,
Yes.
Come on though, Res 2 is like, it's so cool. It's really well done. We kind of mentioned it before because we were talking about the Mr. X mod,
Yeah.
but I had never played the
Ooh.
original Res 2, but I played the
Yeah.
remake and it was fabulous. So they got to do it. They got to do it. We need it.
Yeah. And then we can definitely have another mod there of Nemesis as
Yes.
Mr. X or as Goose. That would
Yeah.
be cool, wouldn't
Oh
it?
yes, that. Oh gosh, yes.
So instead of him shouting stars, it just goes honk.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Oh,
That's
that would
when
be
you
hilarious.
know you've got to absolutely worry is when you just hear a random honk from nowhere.
Who knew a goose could unite all gamers everywhere?
Oh, and it does. And fair play to House as well for
Yeah,
getting a few nominations at the Game Awards as well.
absolutely, absolutely.
Very well deserved, I think. But
Yes,
we're sidetracked a little bit on there as well
yeah,
because we always do.
yes, we do. And but we will talk more about the gaming awards, just not now.
I actually think that with the Game Awards coming up in a couple of weeks, we
Hmm.
could probably do a deep dive episode
I
on that entire thing. So I
That's
think we'll
actually
probably save that.
yes, 100%. I'm on board with that. So
Agreed. We
yes,
will definitely do that. So we'll move on to the biggest news of the week
yes,
because there has been a series that has laid very, 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 very dormant for at least 15 years.
oh
Is
yes.
finally making a return. Half-Life. I never
Cannot,
thought I'd ever say
never.
that.
Yep, yep. Absolutely can't believe it.
Neither can I. Never played them, but no,
Really?
yeah, I wasn't a PC gamer back then, so I
Oh,
played them, but I do own them on Steam. I will
good.
get around to playing them at some point.
Yes, I had them
But
on PS2 or yeah, PS2. Half Life.
yeah, I had the orange box on 360, but I
Oh yeah,
never
and
really
then oh
played it
yes,
apart from playing Portal,
yeah.
which yeah, Portal was amazing. So go and play
Portal is
Portal,
great.
and
Yeah.
and Valve, you cowards, make Portal free, please, and Left 4 Dead free, and Half-Life free, but we'll divulge
Yeah.
a bit more there. So Half-Life Alex has been announced.
Yes.
It is due to come out in March of 2020, so pretty soon, actually.
Yeah. I have to say, as far as announcements go, this is timed very well from a
It is
marketing
indeed
point of view. Hmm.
perfect. I mean, we're in November at the moment, back
Yeah.
end of November, recording this, and it's due out in 4 months.
Yeah.
And the key thing about this release, it's on VR.
Yes. Which
So
is
this is
quite
coming
brave of
to,
them.
yeah, I would say so. So
Hmm.
this is coming to Steam VR, Vive, and Oculus,
Yes.
but all catered through Steam, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Uh,
pre-order is already live.
of course it is. Refer to our last episode about pre-orders.
Yeah, definitely listen back to that because they
uh,
definitely want to get you on that FOMO, don't they?
they do. They do. I have to say, again, I know I'm always speaking from a marketing point of view, but that's my life.
Yep.
This marketing has been top notch. I can't fault them yet. The announcement time
No.
frame is good. The lead up to it, the pre-orders, the
Yep.
accessibility to PC
Hmm.
compatible VR headsets, just all of that. Um, yeah. And
Yep.
actually, I have to say, I'm going to say this on air. I made a mistake off air.
Ooh.
Yes, when we were
You don't
talking,
have to admit that. You don't have to admit that at all, but you are.
I
So fair
am
play to
going
you.
to.
So
Well, you and I were talking earlier about Half Life. I mistakenly said that it was a continuation of Half Life 2 because I
yep.
had read where Valve had said, Half Life Alex is the quote next part of the Half Life story. Well, in
Yeah,
my
that was
very
in their press
linear,
release.
yes, my very linear way of thinking, next follows.
Yeah.
No, it is not. It takes place before the return of Gordon Freeman in Half-Life 2.
Yes, it
So
does.
you were correct off air,
Hooray!
and I was wrong off air.
I don't like to brag, but humble
Oh,
brag here. I was right.
you were
Whoop,
right.
whoop.
I was wrong. But,
I am smart. You are dumb. That's another
SMRT.
reference. Yes. Brilliant.
But yes, but the good thing is it is a full-size game. It is the same length as Half-Life 2. So
Yes.
that's
I'm
very
glad
good.
about that.
Yeah.
They have come out and stated that it's about a 15-hour experience as well.
Yeah.
So for all those people who get very nauseous playing VR, be careful.
And I'm one of those actually.
Me too,
Yeah.
which is probably why I won't pick this up.
I will pick it up, and then after 30 minutes I will step away and come back the next day.
Yes, because that's all you can handle.
Yeah, I normally can't handle more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is very disappointing because I love VR. I absolutely adore it. But
I'd love to try VR, but I know I probably wouldn't be able to handle it after getting nauseous looking at stereoscopic 3D on the 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Because I did as well. So yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Probably fall in line.
Not a chance.
It's like even in my office, I have my office is where I do all my gaming and streaming and stuff.
And your podcasting now.
And my podcasting.
Yeah.
So I've got a fairly decent TV. It's a 50-inch, but it's not 4K or anything. It's just your basic TV.
That's all right.
Hung up on the wall here. And it's like right next to my desk. And I thought, oh, that's too close.
Yeah.
I'll sit behind, like, where a person visiting me would sit, across from my desk. And I tried to play Outer Worlds. Oh, frick.
Ooh, wow, everyone's made that mistake. Don't worry about it. Even
so
Jeff Keighley
often.
made that mistake.
Yes. So I was trying to playing it from there, and I ended up getting nauseous. So now I have to sit basically under my TV and play it from there just so I don't get nauseous. That is weird. That is a very strange thing. It is.
Yeah. I want to call back to something you said a little bit earlier.
Sure.
Where you said the marketing has been absolutely perfect for this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they've only made 2 slight missteps.
Okay.
They're very, very slight, and this is just a little nitpick for me.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is not incorporating PSVR into this.
Yeah.
The install base of PSVR is quite large by comparison to the rest of these other VR headsets.
Yes.
I think if they would have got the game onto PS4 and PSVR systems, this would be an absolute seller for everyone. But the only thing is obviously it won't help to advertise the brilliance of Steam and Valve's own client services, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll probably take extra development time to be able to do so. So fair enough, they probably just want to get this out on these systems first, and then maybe look at porting it over to PSVR or the next iteration of PSVR if they include it on the PS5.
Yeah, that could be actually a very good strategic move on both Sony and Valve.
This would be a huge get if they were to do that.
It would be huge because it's like I think they said in 2019 only 13% of gamers use VR. Now, how they got to that metric, I don't know. But if 13% of gamers, not knowing how large that pool is, are on VR, I would say, now this is just me, I would say a good 7 to 10% of that is PSVR.
I would probably agree with you there.
Yeah, because PSVR is probably the most affordable of all the current VR stuff.
Yeah.
Just because you can get it bundled. I think I got mine bundled in with a PlayStation. So, yeah. I would agree that is a slight misstep. Yeah, let's hope that they broaden the spectrum later.
Me too. And the other misstep, I think they've announced this slightly too early.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Imagine this being announced at the Game Awards.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Oh.
Imagine if Valve came out on the stage at the Game Awards and went, Half-Life, that crowd would erupt.
Yes, yes, yes. What wasn't there an announcement made last year from someone? I can't remember. Not about Half-Life, but
There was a big announcement
it
last year,
was.
I think got a few heads turning. I'm not too
Yeah,
sure what it was, though. So, to all those listeners out there, if you
yeah,
remember, get in contact with us and let us know, because
yeah.
I'd be interested to reread that.
I would too, because I would like to think, I would like to know the kind of ethics of, like announcing at a Game Awards. Like, I think that would have been
Oh,
amazing. That would have
no,
been.
that was it. That was it. It
Hmm.
was Joker for Smash Brothers.
Oh yes, that's right. That was it. Yes,
Yeah,
I
where
knew it
where
was
it
a
was the
big
very,
announcement.
very, very last announcement where the
Yeah.
entire screen went red, and then
Yes, that's
I
right.
was literally sat there going,
It's yeah.
"What?" Because
Yep.
Smash Brothers was due to come out like a couple of hours to that whole presentation.
Mhm.
It was because they held it on December 6th last year,
That's right.
and we knew that there was a Fighters Pass coming for Smash Brothers,
Mhm.
but we obviously didn't know who was going to be included onto it.
Yeah.
So to have a predominantly Atlas-based PlayStation character, let's just say,
Yeah. Yeah.
on Smash Brothers was massive, massive.
The reaction was phenomenal. It was
I
yeah.
I don't even play Persona, and I watched that trailer 4 times in an hour. I
Show's
have
pretty
no
good.
shame.
Yeah, no way. If a trailer's done well, I will rewatch it.
That
Yeah, just tons.
that's the thing though, is that every single trailer I would say for Smash Brothers
Oh,
has been
oh
gloriously
my
good.
gosh,
They've been
that
so good.
that very very first announcement trailer. I know we're going off topic, but I can't help it. Where
Yeah,
the mysterious hand of God or whatever is
yeah.
taking everyone, and Sonic
That
is
that actually wasn't even the first trailer for the game. To be fair, for
really. Oh,
no,
that one got me.
the first trailer actually looked like a Splatoon announcement.
Oh, that's probably why
So
I didn't see it then.
yeah, so it was the announcement that the Inklings were coming to Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically had it so that it was the Splatoon 1 Inkling models
I do
battling
remember when
each
that.
other on a white screen, and
Yeah.
then next thing you know, it just goes all dark, and it's just the female Inkling looking up at the burning Smash logo, and I was like,
Yes.
"Whoa, my god!"
Yeah, they again, Nintendo wins for marketing because yeah, that whole series of announcement trailers for Smash Brothers was just wow, just mind
Uh,
blowing. Like,
the King K. Rool
oh,
one was so good.
they were,
It was so
really
good.
were. They
The
really were.
the utter troll in there, and then they end up reusing that troll
Yeah.
for the Banjo and Kazooie one as well, and it was
Yes.
brilliant. I loved every minute of it because all those rare properties, like it
Yeah.
was just so nice to see
Oh,
again.
yes. Oh, yes.
So, but yeah, we've divulged a little
I
bit away from
know.
that, but that was only because I'd mentioned the fact that I believe this probably should have been announced on a huge stage. But
Yeah.
the thing is that Valve themselves are a huge company and
Hmm.
they demand their own audience anyway. So
Right.
for
That's
them
for
to
sure.
make an announcement for a PC game, especially a VR one,
Yeah.
on is an award show for essentially mostly console stuff,
Yeah.
may not have been the best, but it
It
may have
still
got
would
some of
have.
those
Yeah.
gamers to look up and go, "What?"
Yep. Do you think that Alex or Half Life Alex, which by the way is not a silent protagonist, from what I
No,
hear,
she's not.
um, do you think that that will spur on sales of VR headsets?
Yes, absolutely. There's no way that this game is not going to sell, especially with those people who love Half-Life.
Yeah, and they do
Um,
love Half Life.
yep, these people have been patient for so
Yeah.
many years for Half-Life 3, and they have never got it. The closest they've come is Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and
Mm-hmm.
2.
Yeah.
And even then, the treatment that was released this year, the written treatment by one of the writers for Half-Life 2 Episode 3,
Yes.
went down an absolute storm, and
Yeah.
it just made people think they still want Half-Life. You'd think after all these years that
Yeah.
they could never live up to the expectation and the hype that's been driven on it. Just
Exactly.
look at Duke Nukem Forever.
Yes, exactly my thought. Exactly my thought.
Nah, this looks like it will deliver, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this goes. I probably will not pick it up day of release.
I'll be interested to read the thoughts from people who do, though.
That's exactly where I'll be. Because again, like we said, I too get motion sickness, so for me, I wouldn't pick it up anyway until I'm dead set sure that it is, amazing and things like that and stuff.
Did you watch the trailer?
I did not watch the trailer. I did catch a few glimpses of something in an article. But I didn't watch the trailer.
The old head crab jumping at you.
Yes, the head crab jumping at you.
Terrifying.
Yeah, Alex peeking around a corner and grabbing something off a shelf. But that's about the extent of all I saw. Yeah.
To be fair, one of the nicest parts of that was actually hearing a really good actor doing some voice acting by the name of Rhys Darby. Now, if you don't know who Rhys Darby is, go and watch Flight of the Conchords, because Flight of the Conchords is amazing.
It's a fabulous, fabulous comedy, and which is weird that it appeals to both the U.S. comedy mindset, but also the British comedy mindset, and that's very rare. So
that's because New Zealand's sense of humor is just weird.
It's just weird,
and it's just hilarious. It's so funny.
It's so absurdist, which I love. But yeah,
it's utterly brilliant.
So here's a rapid reviews radio recommendation. There you go. It's got our official stamp of approval.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mention one bit of Flight of the Conchords where Jermaine's literally just sitting there, just on his bass, and he's singing a song about the girlfriend of Brett's. Yes. And he's like, "Cold-hearted bitch, digging a ditch."
Yes. Yes. So good. Yes. Okay.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Anyway, moving on.
Listen to the rest of the podcast and then go watch it.
Yeah. And of course, the albums are also great as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're brilliant. So, but we'll move on to the biggest flop of the week.
Yes.
Google Stadia.
Okay, it is Stadia, right? Not Stadia.
No, because at this point, it's now going to be renamed to Google Failure.
Yay! I mean, aww.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it was predictable. It was predictable from day one, but yes.
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, it is Stadia.
Okay.
Or Stadia, or Stadia, or whatever way you want to pronounce it. I'm going to stick with Stadia.
Yeah. I wonder... I would like to know the origins of that word, but ultimately it doesn't matter, because...
yeah, it really don't matter at all. No. Just talk to Google+.
Yes, Google+.
Oh, wait, you can't.
Yes, exactly. An excellent barometer for the direction that Google Stadia has taken.
Yes. So, to go into the nitty-gritty details of this, Google Stadia was launched on November 19th. So, as of this point, about 5 days ago.
Right.
Time recording. The launch has been less than decent, let's say. And that's putting a sugarcoat on it, to say the least.
Right.
This utterly disastrous launch has basically compounded in a few interesting hot takes, including the Chromecast Ultra units that were supplied with the Founders Edition overheating.
Yep.
Google coming out and saying that one of their controllers is perfect gender-neutral controller.
What does that even mean?
What? I don't even know. This is just strange.
What does that mean?
And them basically not really delivering on half of the promises. I mean, I say half.
Wow.
A lot of the pre-order promises that they'd given off to a lot of people, like being able to give a code to your friend for 3 months of Stadia,
right?
Didn't happen straight away.
No.
you could wait up to 2 weeks for things like that to come in, or the fact that you can't play in native 4K on the
Yes.
Chromecast Ultras, even though you've paid £120 or $130 for the privilege to basically jump into what is a glorified beta test
Yes. That's right.
or beta test wherever you are in the world. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's mind-boggling that a company with the financial and critical clout
Mm-hmm.
that Google has
Yeah.
have managed to fail so desperately.
It's amazing to me. I don't, of course, know how their structure is, but Google wants so bad to be Apple, and I know that's just upset 1,000 voices listening to us.
Look, this is true though, because look
Mm-hmm.
at the war that was had in the early 90s
Mm-hmm.
with Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah,
Apple desperately wanted to be Windows,
they did.
and Windows were doing their own thing. So it's not too dissimilar
Right.
that a company like Google wants to become a tech giant like someone else.
And
They are a tech giant already.
well, they are. I would say that in the software department, they are, you know, decent, good. Um, but when it comes to wearable tech and hardware and gaming consoles, okay, I did have the Google phone when it very first came out about 10 years ago. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they were appalling, weren't they?
After I did some reinstalling of different operating systems and did a few tweaks and stuff on my own, it actually turned into a pretty decent phone, but I had to, do my own thing. Because,
Well, that's really worrying that you have to actually uninstall a load of stuff to make it work.
well, to make it work better. I'm trying to remember what version of Android was out at the time.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Ice Cream Sandwich, but I could be wrong because it's been a lot of years.
Oh wow, the ice cream sandwich! I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about that operating system for a while.
This is how long ago we're talking, but it wouldn't upgrade on its own, so I had to go essentially jailbreak it without a proper term.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, put my own copy, put my own like scheduling type things on and stuff like that, which is fine for me because I can do that and I enjoy that. Not so great for, Johnny and Jane walking down the street every person.
The old Joe Public, it's not a great thing for them.
Exactly. So that wasn't great. I mean, it was good tech when I tweaked it, but out of the box it wasn't great. Google Glass, come on, let's not lie here. It failed. It failed.
Yeah, well, just look at some of their, like we said, some of their platforms as well that they've had over with Google Plus and
Google
things
Plus.
like that. They haven't exactly wanted to support them for too long, have they?
No.
Once it's pretty much deemed a failure, Google will not have any will to want to carry on doing stuff like this.
Which, in a way, I understand, but in another way, you should rehash and find where your weaknesses are and then come back and make them better.
I know what Google Stadia's weakness is here.
I'd say a lot, but yes, what would you say?
Their weakness is they decided to charge people for games whilst also charging a fee to join their service.
Yes.
Bad idea.
Very
Pay
bad
this fee service, make it the Netflix of games like everyone thought they were going to do.
Yep.
What's the problem?
Which is weirdly what Microsoft has basically become.
It's xCloud pretty much in a sense, and Game Pass pretty much is.
Game Pass is they've actually really done that quite well, successfully. So why Stadia, even though there is already a model out there, why they decided to go ahead with a monthly fee and buying games on top of it, I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, the herbal product that they must be taking in San Francisco must be really good.
It's just very strange to me to get, okay, look, It's very simple. Games need to run at least at a stable 60 FPS.
Most would agree with you, especially with some of the games on there like Mortal Kombat 11
Mm-hmm.
and Samurai Showdown being on there. They're fighting games. You need to have solid 60.
Yeah. And they can't deliver. I mean, that should be a baseline you should be shooting for. Or, if you're claiming to be a 4K console, then your baseline should be shooting for 4K. Whereas I think RDR2 is only running at 1440p, and Destiny 2 only ran at 1080p. Now,
and then it was upscaled to 1440p because this is the interesting thing about it, is that actually the PS4 Pro, it does that very similar thing where it's checkerboard HDR basically.
Yes. Because that's actually what I have is a PS Pro, and that's what it does. It just upscales. But
it's just an upscaler, whereas the Xbox One X actually does run 80K more so.
Exactly. So they seem to have not shot for their baseline, if that makes sense.
No, they definitely haven't.
This reminds me of those, dadgummit. What was that gaming console? It was about 2 or 3 years ago.
What you mean, on live?
Was it that?
Or the Ouya?
Ouya, that's it. It reminds me of the Ouya.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Except that I think on the Ouya, another very weird word.
I could hear you not trying to say
yes,
oh yeah.
I was trying very hard. Their games are free because it was off of Android and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still a crappy console.
It is.
It's just like there's so much out there. Google, you could learn from that. I don't understand how you guys Google the thing that holds all the knowledge base in the world can't even seem to, see that in other things that have happened in the past, if that makes sense.
Yep. I also wanted to ask you a question about this, though. As a ex-US citizen?
Yes, well, current US citizen, but yes. US resident. Well, I'm an ex-US resident, yes.
Okay, fine, sorry. Yeah, you are a citizen, not residing.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that I feel is a big criticism of Stadia is due to the fact that ISPs have data caps.
Yes.
What was the issue with data caps in the US? Because I know that there's certain places here, certain ISPs will limit the amount of data that you can use.
The one that I had, which was just a local ISP, that was a bundle with like cable and phone and stuff. They capped everything, and this is right when Netflix was getting to be like everyone's go-to. They were getting rid of cable and satellite and all that stuff.
So when they changed to the streaming service rather than the DVD send-out model like they used to have.
Yes, exactly that.
Wow, I'm such a boomer. I remember their DVD sending.
I remember it quite well because I would get a DVD and then I'd rip it and send it back.
Yes, I'm not going to tell you this story, but we had I will because it's great. But my ex-driving instructor from many, many years ago used to use a service over here called Love Film, which is very similar.
I've heard of Love Film. Yes, I used to get advertisements for it.
Yeah. So Love Film basically become Amazon Prime.
Oh, right. Okay.
So what he would do is he'd get a load of DVDs, he would rip them, send the DVDs back, and then sell the ripped DVDs.
Oh.
As a side business.
Yep, that's one further step than I would have gone. That's pretty cool. Not that I'm encouraging breaking the law. I'm very against that. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Please don't sell the 7 Cs or the high Cs on our behalf, because we didn't encourage you to do it. But if you want to do it, that's down to you.
Yep, everyone has their own free will. This podcast disclaims everything.
This podcast is very, very open to people's free wills.
Yes, exactly. We do not encourage, but we are open to.
Yeah, fine.
But yeah, so the data cap where I was, as soon as Netflix became streaming or more about streaming, they would cap that crap. And then I was doing a lot of Halo multiplayer at the time.
Yeah, of course.
And it was just like, well, can't be, between the hours of 7 and 9 at night, which is the main time I would play.
You can't use it, basically. Yeah.
No, it was capped.
It was just a laggy mess,
caps. Yeah, it's like, and I remember getting angry and saying, if they would just let me pay to uncap it, I would do that,
Yeah, I think a lot of people would.
I do too, but they didn't have any kind of pricing structure in place for that. It was just, nope, we're going to cap everyone. Especially the high usage and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It's the South Park episode. I think you know which one I'm going to talk about is where they're talking about cable.
Yes.
Where they're trying to ban the murder porn episodes.
Yep.
And they literally just uncover their nipples. It's like, you want another cable provider? We're the only one.
Yep. And he's got his shirt open. Yep. It's exactly it. I'm pretty sure I made a reference like that at the time.
You probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the only reason why I actually asked you about data caps in the US, because we do sort of have a similar system over here. I'm not sure it's quite as aggressive as
I would
like
definitely say
Comcast
aggressive.
or someone does.
Mm-hmm.
Comcast. We won't go into them. But basically, one of the VPs, I believe, of the Stadia team has turned around and stated that this could use up to 20 gigabytes every hour.
Whoa. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to hide that one away so I could make myself look more knowledgeable.
You definitely did, because I didn't see that one. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, any person worth their weight in gold is not going to have an internet connection that is able to even do that.
I have a business connection, which is like pretty.
They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
And I couldn't get that kind of uptime. No way. No way.
Imagine 20 gigs every hour. Oh, no way. Not a chance.
No. Oh my gosh. Why? Google, come on. Where are focus groups? We have mentioned it before. Bring back focus groups.
This is the problem, right? They didn't send them out for anyone to test this first.
Why?
They just expected it to be okay.
Oh my
Funnily enough, though, one of the other problems that they've had with this is people pre-ordering from the very minute that it went up and not even getting their Stadias on day of launch. But yet all those YouTubers and influencers got theirs a few days early.
Yeah.
They didn't even pre-order it and they got them early. So to make them look a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
No. Google, you're doing it all wrong, I'm afraid.
This is wrong. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Go back to the drawing board. When this initial beta period does end, take that subscription model away.
Yeah.
Or the paying for games. Keep the subscription model, because I think $9.99 a month is not a bad price for this.
Yeah.
But just have it as Netflix for games. Netflix for games is exactly what people want.
That's it.
Listen to the people who are giving you the criticism. Yes. Some of them may be ferocious. Some of them might be memey. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just listen to the criticism and go back to the drawing boards, because this has been utter disaster.
Well, you have to ask yourself, do we even need another console on the market? Honestly.
I don't know if we do.
Are they bringing anything new to the table? Because that's what it would take to get another console to even have a market share. They would have to bring something new to the table that the other three don't. The other three major players don't. I know there's other minor players, but major. But
that's the thing, though, is if you want to compare them to another tech giant, and they're clearly trying to be like them, Apple have already done this with Apple Arcade recently.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's pretty much making me consider an iPhone 11 as my next one, so I can get on Apple Arcade.
Yeah, Apple's kind of insidious like that. I do like Apple. I have a lot of Apple products, but they're really good at predicting the market.
most of the time they
Most of the
are.
time. Now, let's be honest. Yes, within the last 10 years since Steve Jobs has passed, and
Yeah,
his
he
he had
was.
written he'd written plans. I think they said 7 years into the future. Uh,
That's no surprise.
yeah, and so once those have already been done.
Yep.
Now we're now on Apple's just running on its own think tank. Yeah,
Well,
we're getting some
just look at Tim
missteps.
Cook.
Yeah, yes. We
That
could do a
man is
whole
not a
nother
visionary.
yeah, we could do a whole nother podcast on him alone. But
Yes. Welcome back to the Apple Hatecast.
by someone who actually does own Apple products and uses them.
And to be fair, I've owned my fair share of Apple products over the years. I actually got my start in video editing on an Apple iMac.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think most of us, I would agree that that's actually probably true of most of us.
Yeah.
And but they have kind of started their own missteps. But Apple Arcade is not to me a misstep.
No, it's a great step for them
Yeah.
actually, like having a decent little service like
Mhm.
this where they can get some good developers on board. I mean, one of the things I looked at and I went, they've got a new Rayman game on there. I would
Yes.
buy it just for
Yes.
that.
Yes. Oh, I love
Yeah,
Rayman.
exactly. And then, I've heard some great things about like games like What the Golf and
Yeah.
Sayonara Wild Hearts and stuff like that. I know that
Mhm.
some of them are available on other consoles, but for a flat fee like they're offering and
Yeah.
getting all these games, that's amazing.
I really think that that's where a lot of the pricing structure is going to go to for probably the next 5 to 10, maybe not quite 10 years, but we're all
Yeah.
going to move to the Netflix model. The
Yeah,
problem
definitely.
is what I've seen is that with the Netflix model, let's specifically talk about streaming. You've got
Yep.
Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and there's a couple others.
It's obviously over in America, you've got Hulu and
Yes.
you've got Showtime as well.
Yeah, and then even HBO does a HBO Online.
Oh, HBO Go and
Yeah, that's
all
it,
that
HBO
thing.
Go. So you've got all these services now, and they all have different things, and it's like now we're going backwards to the cable days, and at least in the
I'm glad you
US.
mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because it does sound like we're replacing a cable subscription with too many streaming
Yes,
subscriptions.
and it's actually proving to be more costly. Whereas before, paying $8 or £8 a month for Netflix was like beautiful. It was just brilliant. But
Yeah,
and it
but
was
now
easy
you've
to
got
replace it. But yeah, now it's all these different services, and they're all about $10 each, and probably roughly about £10 to £15 each.
yeah.
And it's costing more for that than it did for satellite or cable back in the US, at least for me. And I'm on alert. I don't like that.
Yeah. Do you know what I think would be a reasonable idea?
Sure. What?
This might be completely off. Is if Netflix, Amazon, and I'm only going to mention three of them for over here. So
Yeah.
Netflix, Amazon, and Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
If they all sat down, had a meeting, and went, okay, we've all got different content, we've all got our own things. Let's get a bundle together. Let's charge £25 a month, and you get all three of these services.
Then now you're back to the cable model.
Well, but it's still more cost effective than
It
spending
is.
£10 for each
To be
of these.
fair, yeah, it is.
And they're still going to get the business because if
Yeah.
you include all three of these options as one, people are going to be like, this is much more cost effective than spending £30 on getting this.
That's very true. And I do wonder if that's what's coming down the line. Because something will have to. Yeah, because something's going to have to change, or sailing the seven seas is going to increase again like it used to be.
Yeah, but that's because obviously, it's not been a big thing as much over here because of BitTorrent.
Yes.
And the Pirate Bay, Pirate Bay being shut down, but I
Yeah.
didn't tell you about Pirate Bay.
No.
We all know about Pirate Bay anyway.
Yeah, it's very well known.
So-
They even have merch.
Yeah, they do, and they
Yeah.
had a massive court case, didn't they? Which
They
is
did.
why it got shut down. It was.
Yeah.
I remember reading that, and I shed a tear.
Yeah.
That was back in that was back in my my
say,
sailing of the seas days when I was a bit
Memories,
more poor.
Yes,
Yeah,
but that's the thing. When you make, it's almost like the content. Like Amazon Prime has been putting out some pretty decent content. I don't have the attention to sit through things,
yeah.
but from what I can tell, like Man in the High Castle and stuff like that, they seem very like interesting.
Yeah, I've heard good things
I've
about
heard
that,
good
as well
things.
as the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Netflix, of course, has some really decent original stuff. And then, Disney Plus is coming out with original stuff. Um,
Well, we won't go into
I
that
know
one,
we're not
shall
going to go
we?
into that one, even though I really want to, but no, we'll save that. Um, but the thing is, they're making this content inaccessible, or you're having to choose which content you
Yeah,
want, and I think that rather than making that a good thing, I think a lot more people are going to be doing it, be are going to try to get that content in a not
yeah.
so legal fashion.
Yeah, especially things for like the Disney movies that are all of
Mhm.
mostly available on DVD. Like
Right.
you don't need to go onto something like Disney Plus and be told
No.
that a film from the 1970s may have a trigger warning on it, and
Yes,
and
exactly.
how they barely have The Simpsons playing in native
Yeah.
4:3 rather than 16:9. Like, what the hell are they
What
doing?
that's just ah. Oof.
Yeah, that sorry, trigger warning.
Yes.
I am very upset about what they did with The Simpsons on
Yeah,
Disney Plus.
very. I also don't like the quote marriage between Disney and Fox. It's been around.
Ugh.
It's been around for decades. It is not new. Don't let them trick you. It's been around. Um,
Yeah, it has been. It always has been because
yeah.
yeah, because it's isn't it ABC that Disney own?
Uh, yes, that's right. I had to
Yeah.
run that over through my head. Uh,
Yeah, Disney have owned
they
ABC for
owe
years.
yes,
A lot of Fox shows have been on ABC.
yes, and also I remember going to Disney World, which is the one in Florida, and we're talking 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
And
they've always had Fox properties there,
yeah,
haven't they?
they did. They even sold X-Men comics there as well,
Yes, they did.
which was Marvel, which at the time was owned by Fox. I think Fox
Yeah.
still owns the X-Men and Spider-Man
No,
portions.
Sony
No, Sony.
Sony
Oh,
owns
yes.
the Spider-Man
I'm an
license.
idiot. Yes, of course.
Fox owns X-Men and Fantastic Four as well. They used to own Daredevil, but now Marvel back.
Yeah.
Um, and I know there's another company that
It's
owns. Oh,
like
it's Universal owns the
yes.
Hulk.
Well, I mean, doesn't it like see for me it bothers me that all of these big media companies are in control of our entertainment. And for some reason that is just not sitting right with
Yeah,
me. I
I'm
don't
not a
like
big
this.
fan that Disney own
They
Marvel.
own
Marvel
a
being one of
lot.
my favorite companies.
Mhm.
I've not been the biggest advocate of the Marvel movies, but they've done some good things for us nerds.
Yeah.
Taking them into the
Yeah.
mainstream.
I mean, there is that. I do have more content now than I would have if they
Yeah,
didn't own it. But it
yeah,
just feels like everything is owned by, three companies and they just trade between each other. And
yeah.
I don't
I'm
know.
sure
It's
that
very
wasn't allowed though. I thought there was a ruling against monopolies.
yeah, but they know how to get around it. We don't have like you know
Probably.
how over here in Britain land um uh say two big grocery store chains, Asda and Sainsbury's, are going up
Yeah,
for like to merge.
yeah,
You guys have like a judge that can say no.
yeah. That's a huge thing.
And in America, the power's there, but it's bound up in so many loopholes that,
Of course.
yeah, that it wouldn't. I don't. I'm trying to remember the last time the U.S. has blocked a merger. I'm pretty sure it's the phone companies. Uh,
Yeah, because there would have been a huge monopoly on that
yeah,
one. They were trying to block the Fox and Disney deal for quite a long time, but
for
they
quite a
just
long time.
managed to get through it.
Yeah,
It's that deal took nearly 18 months to go through.
yeah, which is actually not that long when you're looking to merge, 18 months is pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
But that just shows the difference, of the way it is, and it does feel like Disney is just, it's this monolith that can't be stopped.
It will be stopped eventually.
Everything gets stopped eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All of this links back to the Google Stadia in that
Yeah.
they should have.
It may sound like we've moved away from
Yeah,
it, but we haven't. This
we
is
haven't.
quite important for it.
Yeah, it's all a thread. It's all together.
Yeah.
I don't think that there needs to be another console on the market as it currently is, as it currently stands. Unless, because that's just all it is bringing in, like, is Google going to do original content? Is it now going to be in there with Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, and all of them? I don't think we need another player.
Well, I'm kind of glad that you've said that. Kind of glad that you said that, because that leads us into the last point of this one.
Sure.
Well, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago that I believe it was Amazon who purchased Double Helix Studios.
Oh, yes. Wow. That's a pull from back when.
What have they been doing? Because apparently Amazon are coming out with their own one soon.
Oh, wow.
So we'll move on now before we get even further down the rabbit
we'll do
hole.
that. We'll save that for when it's closer to time. But yes, that is a very good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah, but to anyone who doesn't know who Double Helix Studios are, they were the people who originally created the first season of Killer Instinct Reboot for 2013?
2013. Yes. I was going to say 15, 2013. But no, it's 2013.
Yeah, they made the original they made the remake of Killer Instinct. They before Iron Galaxy took over from them season 2 beyond.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to remember.
Pretty sure. I also think no, it might have been Iron Galaxy that did that, but I think Double Helix also made the new Strider.
They did. Yes. That's the one I was trying to think of. Just blanking out here.
Damn, I've got those facts coming out of the bum today, haven't I?
You really have. You're on point, man. But yes,
I'm still.
They were the ones that did Silent Hill Homecoming as well. That's where I first heard of them. Yeah.
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 Yeah, we should probably move on before we start going down the Double Helix route.
Yeah, because that could,
that could get messy.
But okay, so next segment is our You Got This segment. And it's a very brief, short 2-minute, roughly.
Can we keep it to 2 minutes this time? Because last time it was a bit longer than 2 minutes.
Oh, I kept going. It was crazy. Okay, it's supposed to be 2 minutes. Just a little encouragement to get your week started. And this week's is the idea of perfection. Yeah. I myself am very, very ambitious, and with an ambitious drive usually comes you're striving for perfection.
Of course.
But there's something that you have to come to terms with, and that is perfection does not exist. You have to learn to be satisfied with your own your own marker for success.
Yeah.
And you can't base that on other people's markers for success, because it's going to be different.
Yep.
So bearing in mind, perfection can never be reached, but you should always, always, always be striving to be your best. And you have to come to terms with the fact that being your best is not being perfect. And
like you said, nothing in the world is perfect. No matter how many game scores out there give you 10 out, nothing is perfect.
Yes. And but that's actually a fairly accurate point. I tend to be kind of a completist, and when I was younger and the gaming trophy system was introduced, I was like, that's what I did. I had to get the perfect score. I had to get it every time. complete, get
of course.
every trophy, every achievement, all of them.
Yep.
And then eventually I realized that I couldn't do some of them, and that didn't make me a bad player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just meant that my idea of success was different than getting a perfect score.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I'd agree with that.
yeah, sometimes just completing the game on, let's say, legendary or whatever the hardest, level is.
Yeah. If you're
It,
talking about Halo, then yeah,
yeah,
legendary.
I'm always talking about Halo.
Of course you are. I'm.
But so that became my kind of measure of success. And
Mhm.
then, of course, with the advent of social media and stuff like that,
Oh
I
dear.
I only recently learned, because I'm a little bit naive in some things. I only recently learned that a lot of people fake their social media.
Of course.
I kind of feel like a dummy for not knowing this for
Yeah.
so many years.
But there's far too many troll accounts,
Oh my gosh.
weird accounts, and all that sort of thing
Or
on social media.
even like even on Facebook, my age group are the ladies that are like they're wives now, and they're having
Yeah.
babies, and they're doing all this stuff. Um
Mm.
and they're making it look really like, wow, like their house is always clean, and they always look really good, and they got makeup on and all this kind of stuff. And then eventually I went to lunch with one of my friends who does this, and
Let me
she
guess, they were a raggedy mess.
well, they weren't a raggedy mess, they just weren't glamorous. And yet we had stopped to eat at, I don't know, just a little cafe or whatever. And I snapped the picture of my, I don't know, eggs or whatever, just for
That
fun.
I was going to say that's going to sound a bit weird. Please give context, but I don't know if I want that.
My breakfast eggs.
Thank you. Okay.
I didn't have an
All right.
internal camera yet.
That made me worried there for a second. Thank God.
They do sell endoscopic cameras now for plumbing. I don't know
Yeah, no
why.
thanks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no
But
thanks.
anyway,
No thanks. No thanks.
that's
Had that procedure done? No.
that has nothing to do with perfection. So unless you want your insides perfect, I don't know. But
I didn't. I just needed it done.
but yeah, but so instead, and then I snapped a picture out of just fun and irony, and then just proceeded to just eat my breakfast, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
She spent a good 5 to 7 minutes arranging everything on the table,
So
taking
it's perfect.
yeah, so it was perfect, taking about 4 or 5 different angled shots. Her breakfast is getting cold. It's
Of course
just
it is.
breakfast. And
Yep.
but then finally, and then she uploaded it, and yes, it was a beautiful shot of
Of
eggs
course.
and toast.
Of eggs and toast
Of eggs and toast.
that anyone could.
Yes. And I was just that kind of made me do a second take, and then just I've had other people go, Kylie, you know that's not real, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Because I am a little bit naive. But once I learned that, then I learned I don't have to strive to be perfect, because
No.
there is no perfect.
No such thing, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So this
There's
week.
no.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as the perfect person. There's no
Right.
such thing as the perfect game, perfect place,
Yes.
perfect this, perfect that. It's only perfect in your eyes.
Although I disagree and say that New Vegas is a perfect game.
But you would, of course.
I would. But again,
but
that's my idea of perfection.
The reason why I'm going to tell you it's not a perfect game is because it has Matthew Perry in it.
Yeah, well, but you do get to
There you
shoot
go.
him. You get to shoot him.
Sorry. Yeah, that's perfect for you. But there are
Yes.
people out there who like Matthew Perry.
Well,
so
see, that's
there you
right.
go. That's their idea of perfection, is hearing him in a game going, could this be any more of a video game?
That is a, quote, perfect example.
Yeah.
Is that... yeah, but that does show, everybody's idea of perfection is different. So don't focus on the perfect. Focus on just making yourself happy. That's really what it is.
So much more. So imperfectness is so much more interesting.
We've mentioned it before, but one of my favorite things that someone called me once told me that I was perfectly imperfect. And
Yeah, we
I
meant.
love
I'm
that
sure that's a
phrase.
callback. That's a
Yes,
callback to the first one,
that's
isn't
our
it?
first one. Yes.
Hey,
So
there you go.
woo! So just remember, we're all perfectly imperfect, and as you go out
Yeah,
through the week, just chill and make yourself happy.
you got this.
You got this.
Yeah. All right, we've gone full circle now. We can
We
end this
have.
podcast for
Yeah.
good. We can end it for
We're
good. Thanks, everyone.
done.
No, we still got
Yep.
more to. We've still got so much more to
Yep.
bring you.
And
So,
some really good stuff coming up in this episode too. So.
oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to our topic. So, do you want to
Yes.
introduce our topic this week?
I
Because this
do.
one was one that you said to me. Actually, I was quite interested.
Yeah. It popped up in my head. Just thinking randomly about stuff.
Yep.
But how important is video game lore, and is it needed to enhance a game?
Can you explain that a little bit? Because I'm interested to hear what you mean.
Well, I was thinking about okay, Outer Worlds has
Ding ding ding
taken
ding ding.
yes,
Bingo card.
yep. I've been playing this for 4 weeks,
Yep.
and I've played between 2 and 4 hours every day. Sometimes
Wow.
more, sometimes more. Very rarely less. And I'm still not finished. I do think that I'm very close to being the end. And I've watched all these
Whoa.
other people. They're quite finished with it. And
Oh, they have been for probably about
yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah, exactly. And I wondered, why is that? Why is it taking
Yeah.
me so long? I'm so OP in the game. I'm not even fighting people at this point. I'm just one shot killing everything. But then I realized I read everything.
Yeah.
Every computer message, every note, every poster that lets you read it, everything. And this is true for all games.
And then you go on every side quest, and you go on every side quest, and every
Unmarked
little
quests.
fetch
Oh my
quest.
gosh. Yeah. I did an unmarked quest yesterday of letting a guy out of a toilet.
Oh, I saw that one. That looked hilarious.
There's a photo on my Twitter, and it is a very marked quest, we'll say.
Yeah, it's
a very skid marked quest, but
yeah, I was going to say it's very streaky, that one.
It is. Then but I always stumble on the unmarked quests, and then Skyrim.
Or the Skid Row quest.
Yes. Skyrim's another good example, because a guy did a video where he posted all of the books from Skyrim. Like, he posted them on a back wall, and it was just tons of lore, and I've read most of all of those.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, and I am a sucker for lore. I am, but God, if it's a good story, I'm like, main quest, you can wait. But so I wondered, like, how much does that influence a game? Because, and here's my example. Fallout, of course, and I mean Fallout universe.
Ding ding ding.
Yes, has extensive lore that I even know the cut content of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I am absolutely into it. It enhances the game for me. It makes me want to play the game. Borderlands, as a contrast, Borderlands is a very fun game. I love the way it looks. I love the way it plays. Borderlands, all of them. Well, maybe not the Telltale game, but the basic ones.
The what one? Sorry.
I don't care for the Telltale version.
What?
Yes.
What?
I am not. I know we're getting off topic. I'm not a Telltale fan. I'm sorry. I know everyone loves Telltale. I don't.
No, I'm going to agree with you to a certain extent. I'm not a Telltale fan either.
Yeah.
Really. But I haven't played Borderlands, I'm not going to lie, but Tales from the Borderlands was amazing. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. I loved every minute of it. I love the humor in it, and I do love the story of it as well. I thought it was really interesting take.
That kind of brings me back to the point, which is Borderlands 1, 2, and then eventually I'll play 3.
Uh,
They don't have much lore.
no.
And I remember playing I played Borderlands 2 first. And because I just picked it up randomly. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is so intriguing. Like, how did these vaults happen? And how did Handsome Jack get in charge? Now, this is before Tales of Borderland and before, the pre-sequel. And I started looking, as I often do, where's any lore on the internet? Looked at the wiki, looked up just any fan site I could find. Or there's just not any, or at the time there wasn't. That really took away, for me, that took away from the game. And I don't think, I think I would have, I like Borderlands. I think I would have liked it more if the lore had been in place. But from what I understand, from what I read, the company that made Borderlands did not know it was going to be as popular as it was. So
that's true, but also because Randy Pitchford of Gearbox Software is an utter scumbag anyway. So
I've got some reading to do.
You have, because actually one of the interesting things about it is that actually in the development of Borderlands 2, they were contracted with working on Alien Colonial Marines.
Oh my gosh.
And he apparently embezzled a lot of the development fund from Colonial Marines into Borderlands 2.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So there's the new stuff for us to learn. I did not know that. God.
Randy Pitchford is probably the biggest scumbag in the entire gaming community, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Colonial Marines is terrible.
Do you know something about that? It's really, really funny.
What?
That actually the one of the reasons why it was so broken. The xenomorphs themselves were actually they were supposed to stay in the area. So one of the lines of the code was to say tether. So it meant that it was tethered to the area that they were supposed to be in. They were supposed to be a lot more menacing. Now, the coder on that particular project spelt tether wrong.
Oh, no.
Which meant that they left the area that they were supposed to be in and became non-threatening.
Oh, my gosh. That explains so much.
You could see them just walking around aimlessly. That's why.
That's exactly how it goes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he spelled tether T-E-A-T-H-E-R. Oh my goodness.
Tether. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I did not know that, and I didn't know there was a connection to Borderlands 2.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So from what I understood was that Borderlands 2 was just kind of pulled out of thin air.
No, it wasn't. They once they'd seen the success of Borderlands 1, they instantly greenlit a sequel, and
exactly
a long time working on it.
Yes,
but that was because they were contracted to do other work as well.
Yeah, and so there wasn't a lot of lore in place because Borderlands, the original, was never meant to go as far as it did.
No, it was literally just supposed to be a bare bones looter shooter, wasn't it?
Yes. And it is. It just happens to be really good and have some really good ideas behind it. I wish they would have expanded on those ideas, but then that's when the pre-sequel and Tales from the Borderlands, those almost had to happen because it filled in a lot of the blanks.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Handsome Jack is one of my favorite villains, video game villains.
I think from what I saw of him in Tales from the Borderlands, I can get on board with that. He was wicked.
He is. And it's crazy because he's one of my favorite things is to watch a villain go from a fairly just decent guy, not great, not wonderful, but a normal guy, into a villain. Like, I love that. And not the villain has a golden heart. I hate that. I'm so over that trope. But the going from a normal guy to, a villain.
Yeah. It's basically the Frank Grimes effect.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, grimy. But But it is, that's exact. I just love that. I do. I really love that. And Handsome Jack does that. And with Tales of the Borderland and the pre-sequel, you start to really see that because you don't get that. You kind of get a hint of it in Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
But you don't, it's not fleshed out. And, you know, so I had this desire of, I want to see this fleshed out, but I couldn't find anything. So it kind of diminished for me the gameplay. So by that token, I want to know, like, how about for you? Is game lore, does it enhance? Does it help? Does it make a difference for you?
I think with certain games it does help enhance the experience itself. One of the examples that I'll mention is the novelization of Halo. They've done so much work with that.
They have
that actually that then does then bleed into the video game lore itself. I mean, you just look at one of their most famous books was The Fall of Reach.
Yes,
where obviously they then turned that into a game. It was the last Halo game that Bungie worked on.
Yes.
Now, had we not had the lore, we wouldn't have had that game.
That's very true.
For its good and its bad parts, Halo Reach is a good game. To a certain degree.
I agree with that. I do.
I mean, it's the fact that obviously after Halo 3 came out, we had Halo T, which talks about New Mombasa, and that's quite an integral part of that as that lore as well. So
it did fill in a lot of blanks.
It does, and there's a lot of stuff there that they leave out of the game and on the cutting room floor that they can't quite touch on because it will make a game that they want to obviously be like an 8 to 10 hour flash in the pan experience,
right? To
being a 20 to 30 hour grinding experience, and that's not what suits certain games at all. I mean, imagine Street Fighter, and ding 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 ding. I've mentioned Street Fighter, woohoo! But imagine like them going into depth about everything to do with Street Fighter lore for a fighting game.
Yeah.
No. I mean, stories in fighting games haven't always been great, but Mortal Kombat has proven that you can do a good story mode whilst also being sort of campy and stupid.
And they had Sub-Zero, the game, you know?
Yeah, they had all of that, but what I'm talking about is 9, 10, and 11. They've actually really fleshed their story modes out and actually play really, really quite well, actually, to be fair. But Street Fighter has never been one of having a very good involved in it, and that's where we have things like we have Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, which obviously fleshes out some of the more complex stuff that was going on in the Street Fighter 2 story. You have things like Street Fighter Assassin's Fist that goes into the backstory of Goken and Goki, Akuma, if you listen to our last episode. So I think they can absolutely enhance a video game in some respects, but they're not necessarily there to enhance a video game. They are there as extra content for people who want to know more. The people that want to just play a video game and enjoy parts of the story are gonna stay isolated in that sort of respect because they may not necessarily want to spend their time outside of a video game thinking about a video game.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I couldn't either because I love looking at it. I absolutely adore it.
But I do know there are people who like they're straight up very black and white, shoot 'em ups and sports games and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's people out there like that, but then you've got people out there that go well too in depth about lore as well, who turn around and say, "Oh, if this thing isn't covered in the next video game, I'm not going to enjoy it."
Or
I mean, there's been a hotly contested debate about the Pokemon Wars for years.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to know about that. I think it's better just staying mysterious, actually.
That's a very good take on it. That's interesting.
I think the mystery of what actually happened there is more exciting than knowing every single aspect about it.
You're absolutely right, because, now that you mentioned it, Halo 5, the game that does not exist.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yes. Up until then, you would hear about the Forerunners. And they
Yeah.
were this mysterious. I just could never quite get a read on. I knew the Forerunners had created the technology that made Halo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask a quick question
Sure,
here because I haven't played Halo 5.
sure.
From the promotional material that I've seen of Halo 5, were they the four-man strike team that are hunting down Master Chief?
Um, not. Oh God, that it's kind of complex.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's more about Cortana's rampancy after,
That sounds a bit
and
dodgy.
yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers away. I'm trying not to
Okay,
really
fine.
hard. That's why I'm hesitating so much.
Yeah, no problem.
But put it this way, the game that doesn't exist miscasts everyone.
Oh dear.
And the lore, it changes a bit.
Yeah, I'm not
It
surprised by
doesn't
that.
follow, and it doesn't follow at all. And you learn more about the Forerunners in Halo 5, but it's like you were saying, it takes the mystery away, and I don't like it. So
Yeah,
I think that game studios can use lore as a way to pad out a game and to
agreed.
maybe save on situations that should be actually action oriented.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
it's one of those things that definitely rewards people for wanting to go out to find more about it.
Yeah.
And it is also a way of them sort of crossing the line into other forms of medium as well. Like, obviously we
Yes.
mentioned with books and
Mm-hmm.
movies like with Street Fighter Assassin's Fist and stuff like that. It rewards people who aren't necessarily video game players as well as video game players.
True, and I guess by the same token, it could actually get non-video game players interested in a video game.
100% agree.
Yeah, never thought of that.
Yeah.
What I would be curious to know from our listeners, because I'm going to be honest, I'm probably never going to play Death Stranding.
I may do.
I'm trying to stay open-minded.
Yeah.
But I would like to know if there is lore in there.
I've heard there's a huge story in there and a
See
big lore.
if there is, they might have me on board.
Well,
So that would be how that works. How lore
well,
can work.
let's just say that after Christmas, where
Mhm.
I probably may pick the game up and I'll
Yeah.
be playing it 40 to 50 hours, I might be able to report back to you on
I
that one
would
in the
like
new year.
that very much. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, one of the things that I will mention as we close this little section off is
Mhm.
one of the situations where I actually really enjoyed the extra lore that was given to me. And this was through personal choice that I picked them up, was the Splatoon mangas.
Oh yes, yes.
Now, they are superbly fun.
Of course
Just
they are.
They
Yeah.
go so in depth into why turf battles are such a big thing.
That.
And
Yeah.
that's brilliant. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that.
That
Because that's
is.
not explained to you in the game in any way. They just let you have fun.
Mhm.
And that's a perfect thing that Nintendo does.
That is a perfect. Yeah. Absolutely.
I was just looking at on my bookshelf thinking I should read them again.
But I mean, that does perfectly encapsulate the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not necessarily needed, but it is something that does reward people from both sets. If
Yes.
they don't want to play a game, but they want to read a book, then fine.
Absolutely.
Or if they want to play a game, but they don't want to read a book, fine. They're going to get something, and there's going to be some sort of mystery in there as well, because you're not taking every single angle of everything.
That's true. I'll share this one example, and then we'll move on to listener questions.
Sure.
Which are fabulous this week. But my obsession with lore goes back so far. I just realized when you said that. Do you remember the game Myst?
Myst, the one spelled Myst.
Yes.
Yes.
We're
so
talking Windows 95. Oh my
Shockingly,
gosh.
I do.
Well, I was too young for the game apparently because nobody would let me play it, which is dumb. I've been back to it. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But I remember because I couldn't play the game in a fit of rebellion, I went and bought there was a book based on the world of Myst.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it had like it was a fake leather cover, and it had the symbol on it, and I don't
Yeah.
know, it was just the really nice like fantasy pages that are kind of cream colored and like
Yeah.
handmade looking, but they weren't really. But it
I,
had the ragged edges like it was.
that does sound cool, actually.
Yeah. So I saved my money and I bought that, and it was fascinating, and it made
Yeah.
me want to play the game so badly. And that was, we're talking, God, years ago.
Yeah, it's a lot of years.
Yeah, but I mean, the lore was even, back then, and yeah, no, I love video game lore. I wish they'd do more.
Yeah, I think some video games can get away with having quite a rich lore that can be expanded into
Yeah.
other mediums or into other properties, whereas there are some that are very minimal and don't necessarily require it.
Well,
I'm looking at you, Mario. You don't need it.
no. And I was gonna say, and then your perfect example of like Street Fighter, the little blurb of paragraphs that used to come up about, what they were.
Yeah,
That
their
was
little
enough.
character ending.
Yeah,
That was fine.
exactly.
That was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You knew who they were from their little bios that used to
Exactly.
come up on the credits,
Yes.
on the intro screens and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
you get your little ending, and that was it. You don't
Yeah.
necessarily need to know literally what they ate for breakfast.
Right.
Because to be honest with you, if Ryu isn't eating fish for breakfast every morning, I don't know what he's doing wandering the wilderness.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, let's move on to listener questions.
Nah, these listener questions are fantastic.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
So
brilliant.
thank you to the 3 who provided questions. I'm going to start off with the most triggering one.
Sure.
Coming from @GamingFYX podcast on Twitter. So thanks guys again with your food related questions.
Yes, and
It's
they
a
also
simple
have
one.
they have a podcast. Go listen. But...
They do.
Yeah.
So please go and check them out if you can.
Yeah.
So this is, like I said, this is triggering. It's a simple one.
Yep.
Pineapple pizza ?
Now, see, you think because I'm from the US, I'm just gonna say yes. You wouldn't be wrong, but it's yes with a caveat.
No, that's not part of the question. You can't have a caveat here.
No, it has
it's a simple yes or no. No, it's a simple yes or no.
No, nothing is simple yes or no.
Okay, fine. Good point. I'll take that.
I used to run a pizza place a million years ago.
Blimey, you've had a storied career history.
I have. And what I discovered there was, it's very popular, ham and pineapple. And I didn't really care for it because the tomato sauce was sweet, and I felt that with the contrast of the ham or Canadian bacon was enough. And then one day, so you didn't need the pineapple. So then one day, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try something.
Okay.
I ran the pizza through the oven as you normally would. And then at the very end, I put the pineapple on it. My way of thinking was Chinese food. They put the pineapple in after. Sometimes. Depends on what dish you're getting.
Make it too wet.
Yeah, exactly. This is very firm, drained, cold pineapple pieces. Put that on, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. If you like Chinese food, you would like it that way. Okay. Or give it a try that way. But hot pineapple on pizza? No. I have to say no.
Okay, I can accept your caveat, and I won't raise you a caveat, but I will raise you my point.
Uh-huh.
Pineapple on pizza can GTFO straight out. Absolutely not.
Yes, but you guys put what you call sweet corn on pizza, which is insane.
Don't you dare diss sweet corn on pizza. Don't you dare.
We would call it just corn in the US, but they call it sweet corn.
Look, I know. The thing is about that is I've been trying to make more conscious effort to eat more fruit and vegetables. And I know that kind of contradicts my point on that. Because pineapple's a fruit, but
it is.
I like to have a few vegetables on my pizza along with a bit of ham. So,
yeah.
But for me, I've never liked pineapple, will never like it, and do not put it on a pizza. And pizza is my favourite food of all time.
Is it really?
if there's pineapple on that pizza, that's getting chucked straight at a wall.
Well, if you've never liked pineapple, you won't like it on pizza.
No, I
for
definitely
sure.
won't. So literally every time I make a pizza, I think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Literally that sound clip from Turtles in Time. Pizza time.
Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they always make me hungry. I don't even like
Oh,
pizza that much, and I always want a pizza after watching them.
now is that because you worked in a pizza place?
Well, a lot of people ask me that, but the honest truth is I didn't like pizza going in. But I developed an appreciation for it coming out of the industry. So for me, my ideal pizza is a thin crust, which everyone hates. Yep.
No, I'm fine with thin crust. Actually,
Thin
there's nothing
crust.
wrong with it.
A heavy sauce, regular, just we would call it marinara. I think you just call it pizza sauce
marinara.
here. Yeah. And then heavy cheese and bacon, like American streaky bacon crumbled up, and onion, and then at the end, again, this is the same thing following the pineapple thing. At the end, put tomatoes on it so that they're not hot and grody, like liquidy.
Yeah,
they're just
basically hot balls of lava. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Tomatoes on pizza are beautiful, but not hot.
Yeah,
I like it cold.
Like that.
Yeah, so for me, that's the just ideal. That's perfect.
Okay. So mine.
Yes.
Deep pan all the way.
Ooh.
With either marinara or barbecue sauce on it. I'm not fussed either way.
Yeah.
But, with lots of mushrooms, bit of sweet corn,
I knew it.
Bit of bacon, and maybe some steak, and that's about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do steak over here.
Oh yeah, it's good. Whenever I go to Asda, which is like a few towns over from me, I do the create your own pizza section there, and
yes.
it's always either steak and chorizo with mushroom and sweet corn all the way.
Chorizo is so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm not even getting into that debate how you pronounce chorizo.
It depends, because
I don't care.
In Texas, we say chorizo, but then here people say chorizo, so I just go with it. I don't care. It tastes good.
Whatever way, spicy sausage tastes good.
There you go.
Spanish sausage.
Yes.
I'm not even going to bother trying to call it chorizo anymore. I'm just going to call it Spanish sausage. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
But yeah, pineapple pizza, absolutely no way for me.
And even though you'll never probably be able to ever do it, I'll tell you what enhances a pizza, and that is ranch dressing.
Disclaimer, if I would have known any of this going into the podcast, I would never have created a podcast with this crazy lady.
I love ranch dressing. I miss it. I have to make my own. So
there's nothing wrong with ranch dressing, just not on a pizza.
Well, you dip your pizza in it. You know how you guys do the garlic sauce?
Oh, the crust dip. Yeah.
But not just the crust, the whole thing. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so hungry. Why does their questions always make me hungry?
Because they're food related, and food related questions always make you hungry.
But yes.
It's fine. Yeah, I can get that. Like, I don't dip the crust. I dip the whole thing.
Yeah.
Too right.
Absolutely.
Too right. Okay, this next question, these next two questions, I hate them both because they're evil, but they're brilliant.
They're brilliant. They really are. Shout outs to the two.
Yes, so we'll take this one from Darker X Clover on Twitter. Thank you.
Out.
Yeah. So you have the power to permanently delete one character out of any game or game lore forever. Thank you for tying that into our topic.
Yes.
Unintentionally,
but works perfectly.
Yep. The game's story will be changed after that, so that it still makes sense after the character is removed. Who would you delete and why? What a horrible question, but brilliant.
It's brilliant. I love this question. So thank you, Dark X Clover. Absolutely adore this question because it's very, very, very simple for me. There is a character in Halo. I call him Filthy Spark, but his actual name is Guilty Spark.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
I hate him as much as you can hate a flying eyeball robot. I won't give any spoilers away. I know it's been out forever, but I won't. but he ruins several characters' lives.
Of course he does.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him because in Halo 2, he leads you through this probably one of the toughest levels.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, that was terrible. Oh, God.
And he's like humming and whistling and singing to himself, and you're getting just blasted by everything ever. By the flood.
Get out. Get out, you filthy bar.
Oh, filthy spark all the way.
Yeah.
Just, I would annihilate him. I would annihilate him with Johnson's gun, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know why I said it.
that could sound a hell of a lot worse, though. talking about Johnson and his gun.
Yes.
Yes, but there is a character called Johnson in the game, so we're not making a very, very bad Willy reference
or
there.
Are we? No, we're not.
I'm not. You might be.
No, not this time.
Okay.
Yes, but who is your character, and why?
I'm gonna anger a lot of the internet here. I'm gonna anger them, and I'm only gonna say one thing here in the worst way possible that I can do it. Waluigi!
Oh, someone please sound clip that, please.
I will. Don't worry. I will do it. Look, I absolutely cannot stand Waluigi. I hate him. He has no bearing on anything whatsoever.
Doesn't. I have to agree with you.
He was created literally just to be the brother to Wario, so that Luigi had a rival, of course. His stupid look, his stupid flipping look.
You're making so many people angry right now.
Bloody mustache, his voice.
Yes.
Oh my God! It's just there is a reason why he hasn't had a main game, for God's sakes.
Yes.
It's because he's annoying.
Why do you think that so many people are loyal to him and love him?
The memes.
Haven't figured that one out.
Nothing else. The memes.
Just the memes.
It's about the memes. Look at how many Waluigi memes come out, especially after he was cut from.
Oh yeah,
people were angry. They wanted him Smash Brothers, but never got it.
Yeah.
Look, if he makes his way into Smash Brothers as a playable character, I am deleting that game from my Switch.
Oh no, you've heard it here first.
No, because I know exactly what will happen. Everyone online will play Waluigi just to annoy, and that's it. I will never play it again. So the reason why I would delete him, because there's nothing to delete. Yeah. He is a non-entity. He is just a loser that is just in sports games, and he's just lame. So there was a funny meme that went around quite a while ago where there was someone who created a fake Waluigi game.
All right.
And it tricked a lot of people, to be fair.
Yes.
I can't remember what it was called, to be fair, but it was quite funny. It was the only time that I've ever got a laugh at anything Waluigi related, but
it's funny.
Yeah.
You'll always, when you go to Comic-Cons and stuff like I do, or just conventions, there's always a contingency of Waluigis. Like a herd of them together.
Yes, and there has never been a time where I've ever wanted to punch someone in public, except when they're cosplaying as Waluigi. I'm moving on. I'm so angry now. I'm so angry. So thanks, Dark X Clover. You've angered me. Thank you.
In the best way.
Yeah, great. So this isn't going to be any better, this one, is it?
I'm starting to think that they're trolling us, but again, in the best way.
I think they are as well. Yes, I really do.
I like it.
So at 2D Mike 3D on Twitter, another one from this staff writer of ours. Thank you.
Yep.
We've got to have words after this, Mike, because seriously, if you're going to keep popping us this caliber of questions,
so good.
then I'm going to have a heart attack.
So good, though.
It is.
I love it.
I love his such British way of putting this as well.
Yes.
The men in black roll up to your gaff. Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are waving a neuralizer in your face. All of the memories of playing SNES and Mega Drive / Genesis games are wiped, or all your memories of playing PS4, Xbox One, and Switch games are wiped. You decide which. Now tell us why.
So this one I had to actually think on. That's not an easy answer.
Definitely not.
But I think I came to an answer that I'm happy, I'm satisfied with. Couldn't be happy with
Okay.
any answer on this one.
No,
But
I was never going to be happy with the answer.
yeah, um, I think if I had to choose, I would say the SNES and Genesis games. Why?
What to forget?
Yeah, to forget. And the
Oh,
reason
wow.
why,
Okay.
I know it's a shock because I know. But the reason why is because the idea of getting to play those again for the first time and how much joy they brought me, that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. That's probably a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that was not an easy choice.
No.
So, what about yours? May I ask?
I am going to forget PS4, Xbox One, and Switch for one reason and one reason alone.
Why? Waluigi?
Now, no, no, because Waluigi's been around a lot longer than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he was in the N64, I believe.
Wow,
Um,
really? Okay, but anyway,
I
yes,
believe
continue.
so. Um, the reason why, and it's a simple one: downloading updates.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's a good
kind of hate where the
point.
digital revolution has taken us.
Yes.
They put out a half-broken game
Mm-hmm.
and then think, "Oh, we'll fix that later." It's the whole
Yes.
situation of when it comes back to movies and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh, we'll fix it in post.
Fix it
We'll
in
fix it.
post. Yep. Yep.
Nope, no.
Absolutely.
If a game was broken, it was broken back in the day, and I quite like that. It was quite
Yeah.
charming, actually. You know,
Yeah.
so many games that were just utterly
I was
broken
gonna
that you just
say
could
everyone
never,
knew.
ever, ever beat, and it was just
Absolutely.
funny.
Yeah, because everyone would know where the glitch was, and you could have a good laugh over it and stuff like that.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was
yeah,
never going to be fixed.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. You just have to look at Cheetah Men
yeah.
and Cheetah Men 2, which is
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh, I love hate those games. They're insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Guys, you gotta look into that. Look up Cheetah Men. They were supposed to be like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type
yeah,
rivals that
yeah,
came out. Oh
they were
god.
supposed to be the next big thing, and they just
Yes.
weren't.
It
I
was
mean,
terrible.
they were part of a game called it's like the 52 collection, wasn't it,
Yeah.
on the net? Yeah, if you want to look into more of that, I'd highly recommend the Angry Video Game episode
Oh
on that
gosh,
because it is
yes. That's the best.
beautiful.
The best coverage is Angry Video Game Nerds coverage of it.
It's so good.
Yeah. Oh my
It's a,
gosh.
it's a little bit R-rated, obviously, for
Oh,
our younger
yes.
listeners,
Yes.
but it's still funny.
Yes, definitely.
Uh,
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
it's
Cheetah
so
Man.
that
I haven't
that
heard that in so long.
honestly, that music has ingrained
Oh
itself
my
in. I
gosh.
can't help but hear it every time I mention the Cheetah Men.
Yes. Oh, that's crazy. Yes, I encourage y'all go look at that because that is a perfect example. That is a very very well. Even the original, the 52 games or whatever it was called, they're all
Yeah,
broken too. Um,
most of them are. Yeah, none
yeah,
of them even, to be honest.
yeah, and
But then
they'll never be fixed because
exactly.
you couldn't do that back then.
But the only thing I would say to preface that is,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm going to mention Street Fighter again,
Of course.
but because you know the game they released 7 different versions of Street Fighter 2. They released 3 different versions of
Yes,
Street Fighter 3,
that's right.
and yet even in the digital download era, they
Hmm.
still released 4 versions of Street Fighter 4.
That's true. Oh, that's
Capcom are
funny.
greedy. We all know that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so they were fixing their games, but charging full price to do so.
Ooh. Now that is a take on it that I had never thought, and you're correct. That is very true.
Yes. So
Hmm.
unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff there. I think there's a lot of stuff in the either generations, like we've discussed there, some
Mm-hmm.
SNES and the Mega Drive Genesis era, and PS4, Xbox One, and Switch have their good things,
Mm-hmm.
and they have their faults. I
Oh,
mean,
definitely.
gameplay was a huge thing back in the days.
Yeah.
You didn't get a lot of story, and you got massive
Yes,
amounts
that's
of
right.
gameplay. They were always usually pretty solid,
Mm-hmm.
except things like Mick Kids and.
Oh,
Uh,
God.
I'm going to mention a game. I know it gets a lot of love, but Cool Spot, Jesus!
I
Like,
didn't like Cool
what
Spot.
is the deal with that game?
No, I didn't like
I
Cool
don't get
Spot.
why people are nostalgic about that. It's
I
just weird.
I don't either. Yeah, I did not enjoy that. Weirdly there was a game that came out at the same time.
Yeah.
For Mr. Pibb, which is a drink in
Oh,
the U.S.
yeah. Yeah, we probably got Pepsi Man instead.
Oh gosh, Pepsi Man's terrible. But here's the weird thing: the one for Mr. Pibb, it was free. I think you had to send off for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was used on the same engine as the Quake engine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't a like Quake remap like all the other ones, but
Yeah.
um, it was really playable and I enjoyed it very much. I would love to find that if anyone knows where I can find a copy of it. But that was on
That'd be
PC though.
cool.
That was more on PC. But
I
yeah.
may have to have a look into that.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was really fun. Although I could be rose-colored nostalgia glasses.
Possibly. Very possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look it up. I'm gonna have to. Mr. Pibb is what it is.
Yeah, to be fair, the only thing that I know about Mr. Pibb as a British person is the incredibly bad American Dad episode they did on Mr. Pibb.
Oh yes! Oh my gosh.
It is quite funny, to be fair.
That is good. I love American Dad. I know like it's not Seth MacFarlane's strongest output.
I prefer it to Family Guy at times, especially the first 3 seasons.
Oh gosh, the first 3 seasons are great. They get a little bit crazy these last few.
They do get wacky.
Yeah, but I mean Roger, I love him so much.
Honestly, he's become the worst character though.
That's I've heard
in the later seasons.
Yeah, somebody else was telling me that if I watch it now, I might not like it as much.
Oh, I absolutely hate him. He is just awful. He's like one of the worst.
I mean, he was awful.
In the early seasons, he was great though.
He was awful, but he was awful in a lovable way.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the newer ones, he sort of becomes sort of like a sadomasochist in a sense. And it's so
he
very
was heading
weird.
That direction. Yeah, he was heading that direction, and then he just started being more mean, and I don't know.
Yeah,
that's disappointing. But,
yeah. No, whilst we're on American Dad, I will mention an episode that absolutely kills me. Is the one where Stan wants to teach the boys like farming techniques.
Yes,
he becomes the dodgy meat and he becomes infected with mad cow disease.
Yeah, and he's like hallucinating, and some of that is some of the best moments.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Oh my gosh, why? I love
it. He's sitting in the alleyway dancing with that handkerchief and the milk crate. It's like, why are you dancing with these? Happy trails, friends.
Oh my gosh.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
So weird, but
I used to remember that whole song.
Oh my
god. That whole song that he thinks was he's infected with mad cow disease. I used to remember the whole thing, but I don't anymore. Oh my goodness.
That is a very good. Just honestly, the first 3 seasons are good. I also like the one where, what's the kid's name?
Steve.
Roger convinces Steve that he's been accepted into Hogwarts.
Yes, that's so funny. Where he comes home with a massive load of cocaine and he's like, I took this to practice potions at home.
Yes, exactly. And where he's telling him to wash his hands in Spanish. And, I just love all of that. Lávate las manos. And it cracks me up. Yes.
Wow, I defeated all the Death Eaters. What do we do now? Oh, I'm going to teach you a very simple spell. What do we need? Oh, we need hydrochloric acid and a hacksaw.
Yes. Oh, so good. So good.
See what I mean? I used to abuse that show too much. I remember all of that.
I'm
incredibly focused right now.
Yes, exactly. I miss you, Roger. Why can't you be?
Yeah, so do I.
Evil but lovable. I like it.
Evil but lovable. Yeah, sounds like Stewie, to be honest, but yeah.
Stewie's another one. He started out great and then changed, and Family Guy's been on too long.
I know. I'm such a boomer that I actually remember when Family Guy first aired in 1999. I remember watching the first episode.
I don't think I even did.
I did. I was there and part of the original cultural phenomenon that was Family Guy.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't think that I picked up on. No, because I wasn't watching TV back then.
Yeah, I'm a boomer. I get it.
No, you're not a boomer.
I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. I know it. I'm accepting of it. All right. But you kind of divulged a bit too much there.
But those were excellent questions, guys. We love those. Send those type of abstract questions. Oh, I love it.
They were superb. I loved every minute of them. Yeah, they were evil.
They were evil, but in the best way. But that is not a segue for what I was about to say.
No, definitely not. This is not an evil segue.
No. But good news, everybody. Good news, everybody.
We've gone full circle again.
I did it again. So we're having another competition.
Hey.
Yes, the last one was very successful. Anchor were very well pleased. So they've given us another one.
Pleased enough to send us another one to send out to give away. I don't know if they were overly pleased.
So we've got our hands on another Anchor power bank, 10,000 PD. It's just really great specs. It's great for when you need to charge things fast. So, but it's the same exact one we gave away before. This competition, our theme is going to be best game dad jokes. Which now that can be interpreted anyway. Yeah. So we
love a good joke.
Yeah, love jokes. The cheesiest, most dad-like, jokes are supreme.
Yeah, so they're gonna be gaming jokes that are as bad as normal dad jokes.
Yes, there we go. That's how you explain it.
That's why I'm here, because otherwise you'd wrap a month.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd never get to the point.
I'd literally be sitting here editing for about 2 years.
You would. Yep.
Just trying to get one episode out.
Never get sick.
Already have, and I still powered through.
You did. Oh my gosh. Mass respect. But we want to hear your best game jokes done in dad joke fashion. Send them to us, Twitter, website, which I'll tell you those here in a bit. We just want to hear them. And the competition, we'll close the competition on the 7th of December. And then the winner, just like before, will be randomly selected. But we will read your game dad jokes on air because we just love jokes.
Yeah, we do.
Jokes.
And to be fair, we loved reading out the stories that we got on the last competition. They were a lot of fun, and we're just waiting to hear back from the person who won the last one to let us know that they've received their parcel nicely. So but if you send this to us, and we'll give you the contact information now.
Yes,
which will be either at Rapid Reviews UK on Twitter. At RR Radio Pod on Twitter as well, or via the Rapid Reviews UK podcast. The Facebook page.
Yes.
Or you can let us know on SoundCloud as well if you want to do that too.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
But we can also let us personally know as well. So you can let me know at Pete Beckett1 on Twitter, or
you can let me know at Kylie Tagreet on Twitter. And that's KILEYTEHDREET. And I think that's gonna just about wrap up things.
Nearly, because we've missed one thing out.
Did I again?
One tiny little thing.
What's that?
Please visit rapidreviewsuk.com for all the amazing reviews that we are putting out daily basis.
Yes, and we're putting out massive amounts of reviews, and I swear my Outer Worlds review is coming.
I honestly, I promise you, my River City Girls review will be soon as well.
Yeah,
I've been sitting on that one for a bit too long.
Well, that's all right.
life gets in the way, I'm
It
afraid.
does. It does.
Yeah. So we will both be on there adding some reviews,
Yeah.
hopefully soon, but that's not to detract away from the amazing
No,
people that are putting reviews on there,
yeah.
and a welcome to the new writers that we had join us a couple of days ago as well. So
Yes, it's always
we're
fun.
we are always looking for people to come and join us with our incredible large backlog of games that
Ooh,
people have
yes.
been amazing to provide codes for. So thank you to all those publishers that give us the
Yes,
codes.
absolutely.
That goes without saying a lot of the time, because not many people do thank those people, but they
Yeah.
are nice enough to
No,
provide
that's
us with a
very
code to
kind.
review the game.
Absolutely, very kind. And we
Yes.
love that. Um,
Mm.
okay, I think that is going to
That
wrap it up.
Yeah, that
Uh,
does actually wrap us up.
all right, so why don't you hit us with our first game fact?
Okay, so the first game fact is going to be of no surprise to anybody. It's Mario related, of course. So in Super Mario World, Mario mounts Yoshi, which is always quite a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
But did you know, to get him to actually eat anything, Mario punches the back of his head?
Well, that wraps it up.
And on that violent note,
We will see you next week.
bye.
Bye.